Hello and welcome to the Machinist News Network. I'm Deirdre Kanievsky. The Bureau of Labor Statistics released a bit of good news this week. The numbers show there's improvement from last year on the job front, but that the U.S. still has a long way to go. For every job opening available in this country, there's nearly 6 people trying to fill the position. That information comes from the federal government and the Economic Policy Institute here in D.C. That statistic is an improvement from last November, but for the IAM, it's a hard pill to swallow, knowing so many of those job seekers are machinists.
We've lost well over 2 million manufacturing jobs. That constitutes over 15% of the entire number of jobs in the manufacturing industry. We've blown through a crisis. We're at a full-fledged great jobs depression.
And unfortunately, the government isn't always helping to fill these positions. Yes, there's stimulus money, but who's making sure it trickles down to American workers and creating domestic jobs? The labor movement seems to be one of the few.
We believe that any money that the government spends, whether it's related to the stimulus package, to the recovery funds, or whether it has to do with government procurement or not, should go towards creating and supporting good jobs here at home.
That certainly wasn't the case recently when a conglomeration of companies announced it was going to use stimulus money to create a wind farm like this one in Texas.
One of the things that became apparent in that announcement is that the actual wind turbines, which are key to our recovery, because if they're made here, we lead the way in terms of energy, technology, and production, but those wind turbines would be made in, guess where? In China.
The U.S. government says it didn't authorize money to build turbines in China. But Senator Charles Schumer is proposing legislation to make sure this can't happen now or in the future, something the IAM strongly supports. But before the turbines, it was the United States Air Force tanker contract causing issues. Again, domestic job creation sort of fell through the cracks left in these recovery bills.
It is shocking to know that when the government lets out a government contract like they did with the tanker deal last year, no one looked at the number of jobs that were at stake in such a contract. That wasn't part of the consideration that was given for that proposal. That's indicative throughout government. So we believe government should look at the direct number of jobs that are created and supported by a government contract. And that should be instituted throughout our whole government procurement.
These situations have led the machinists to ask for a second stimulus package, focusing on manufacturing and creating jobs here on North American soil.
Machinists in the United States should be demanding from their own government that government expenditures, particularly with the Recovery Act, go to spending money here at home to create good and decent manufacturing jobs. And our brothers and sisters in Canada should be making the exact same demands on their own government to make sure that Buy Canada is a reality.
Machinists say another item for future discussion is the definition of made in the USA. It may surprise you to find out that only 51% of the product needs to be made here to carry that stamp. And even that number sparks speculation among many. For more, you can log on to goim.org. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Machinist News Network.